strongly to urge parents and guardians and caregivers to continue providing guidance to their children as they learn from home, including supervising their studies from broadcast. But it is also needless to say that many of the parents have lost their means of livelihood. Everywhere. In the United States now we have 40 million, which is one in every fourth American has no job. Perhaps it is the same thing here. But the children are yours. And everybody is bleeding from the economics point of view. And I think together, and with God on our side, we should be able to get elsewhere. I am aware that this report reached you irregularly before it was delivered to me, but then that is being Kenyan. There's nothing wrong with it. The Kenyan is a very strange person. I'm going to urge the fourth estate to help us to fight this virus by leading by example and helping us to ensure that the right thing is done. Once we have corrected this report, and I hope that we respect our professions like we have done in the past, that will allow me to see my report and look at it and come and present it to you, rather than you calling me and saying, this is already here, what is 1, 2, 3? That would be a little bit better. So don't ask me too many questions which have no basis, because for now, you have seen the numbers this week, isn't it? How many of you here have children or grandchildren, or are aspiring? Even if you are aspiring, going by the reports of last week, how many of you will take your child to the school next week? Because you expect me to speak, and of course I'll speak again by the time I get this report and have consulted properly. Let us agree that a child who is alive and well at home is better than one who attempted to do the exam and died there. Are we together? Are we together? You are quiet, but I've told you. And I think this is the narrative that we must talk about. The ministry wishes to state categorically that all decisions will be made by giving priority to the health and safety of learners and teachers of schools thereof. Let me take this opportunity to say something about private schools. I told you Kenyans are very interesting. I would want us to sympathize with the private schools because they employ a large number of Kenyans, over 160,000 teachers, together perhaps even 300,000 plus the support staff, to keep the schools alive and to make sure that material is given to the children where they are. Can we have a humane face as we try to decimate the schools? So all this noise of saying, oh, you know, they are charging this, they are charging that, go and negotiate with them. When you decided to take your child there, nobody told you to take your child there. Go and negotiate with them and agree, because there is less money in circulation. Make sure that you continue to pay for the services you are getting from them, so that they can keep the teachers in their positions. It will help the government manage better. Otherwise, what is going to happen is when the private schools collapse, it is government who is going to deal with them, because all those children will come to the public schools. So let us be reasonable and rational, and let me wish you all the very best. I think the next time I talk to you, I'll be telling you very clearly which area the government is doing, not with a finality, because you may find that after 2 weeks, we are reporting 1,000 cases. You have seen cases in South America, a country I don't want to mention, where even the doctors ran away and even the corpses were just being burnt on the streets. These are serious possibilities that Kenyans must deal with as we want to gamble with the lives of our children. So if we are not able to manage the way we want, then we must be prepared to have our children and wait for the right time, so that if it means, like I said before, if it means that they have to come back to school early in the year, to start the year all over again, so be it. What do you want to do about it? Would you rather allow about 20,000 to die so that you open earlier? How are you going to select that 20,000 or 100,000? How are you going to select them? Because to us, the life of one child is more important. So rather than thinking about so much about exams and learning, teach the child what you know yourself. If you are a headsman, it may be very good if you go and show your child how to milk a cow, the way I was shown the other time. It is very important. I used to go to the shamba to dig. Who do you think you are that you don't want your child to dirty his hands because, there is an exam coming? And skilling the child does not mean going back to school alone. So on the issue of parental empowerment, please help us to carry it forward, starting with yourself. Help us to tell Kenyans to be serious, because the longer time we shall spend here will basically depend on our inability to follow simple instructions. I want to thank you very much. If there is a question that is directly related to this, then ask, but don't go outside the preview of this. Yes?
Yes, two things. One, from your briefing.
Who are you first? Who are you? No, why? I can talk through the mask. I'm older than you. What do you want to give coronavirus to people? It's very serious. Talk, I can hear you. Who are you? Thank you very much, sir.
Now, two issues. One, your briefing, you don't seem to have been so much convinced by the work of the committee, because you found the report very preliminary, very interesting. From that, two, as we focus on containing the virus, instead of opening, instead of having to speak, you said that when schools open, they should have similar facilities, safe facilities. What is happening now, you know there are schools that don't have one anymore, social distancing, more infrastructure. Are we waiting for the day when we know schools open, then we begin to work on that, or what's happening?
Have you had Miss Mbili Natosa? I will answer two of them, because for me, I follow you. You respect yourself. You say two, hiyo ya tatu ni ya mtu ingine. But just to comfort you, government is one government. It is one government with one leader, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. All the others are under his umbrella. So if we don't mention you by name, it doesn't mean we don't consult you. That is point number one. Point number two, maybe I don't speak good English like you journalists. I have said we have consulted inside this room, and you can see the battery of people, my two CSS, all the PSS are here, the experts are behind me. I've said we have consulted. I know you are fixed on the issue of timelines. That is the least important thing for me. Are we together? The government is alive. We are going to work out a system that is practical, that is not political, but is going to deliver to the child. We all know that there must be water in the schools. And who has told you that you have not started putting water in schools? There is the WASH program, which is all over in some parts of Kenya. And as we speak now, we are trying to get water to schools. But we shall make sure that that is done to a critical level that is reasonable before we open our children. With regard to this, ask yourself what you are doing with it yesterday. Because I got this at 8:30 in the night. Are you professional? Getting, if you are cooking meat, my friend, or you want to fry meat, there's kitungu there, nyanya iko hapo, there's oil. Now, you see the meat and you throw it out to somebody to go and eat before you even put it on fire. So I have chosen not to comment there, but it's thoroughly unprofessional to get a working document and then go and streamline it as if it is a fait accompli. So I will not comment beyond there. Are we together? Because you have your own input. I hope you did have an input in this. Because you are not just a reporter. We said anybody with an opinion should come. There is nobody who is an expert or who is a citadel of wisdom. But I want to assure you that whatever is going to come out as a final report will be reasonably well informed, but it shall never be cast in stone because this disease behaves in a very abnormal manner. And therefore, let me end by saying that these are not normal times. These are not normal times. So, since they are not normal times, we must also start behaving abnormally to be able to deal. Is there any one more question? Yes.
The question that I want to ask was saying that private schools have the permission to talk to parents concerning their well-being even after 18. But most of private schools are continuing with their second term. Now, where will this lead them when they finally come back as a country?
You know me, I went to school at a place called Starehe Boys Center. So that second term is your own second term. Because the power that I was given by His Excellency the President is to be the CS for education. So me natosha. And I said, every school shall remain closed. Private, public, faith-based. That is the situation. If your definition is that since they are teaching their people online, they are in second term, ushindwe. Na ushindwe kabisa. Any other reasonable question? Yes? Makori Ongechi, not yeah. Yes. Illegally. Listen to me very carefully, Ongechi, and this will be my last question. Listen to me very carefully. I already said this is just a working document. Huh? The reason I'm addressing you is to calm down the...
Education CS Professor George Magoha there live at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. This is after receiving the COVID-19 education response from that committee that is chaired by Dr. Sarah Ruto. Let's now take you to Kajiado, and the pictures that you're seeing live on your screen there are from the home of Kotu Sec Gen Francis Atwoli, where leaders from Western Kenya are congregating, and they will be issuing a presser on the imminent purge at the National Assembly leadership. Now, our Duncan Haemba is there, and we will be crossing over live to him, and also when the event officially kicks off. So live pictures there from Kajiado, that is the home of Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli, where leaders from Western Kenya are congregating, and they will be issuing a presser on the imminent purge at the National Assembly leadership.
Was a rock in the ocean. Let's say, if we sat together the way we are sitting here, and then we are able to go those people back,
Okay, so that's where we end it. In a few minutes, about 8 minutes, we'll be having Bottom Line Africa with me. Stay safe. Keep it KTN News. My name is Grace Correa.